Hello guys, I'm Tom, and today we're going to explore what Megalodons really are. Among the most formidable creatures to emerge from the depths of our collective imagination in contemporary science fiction and horror cinema, there is one that towers above the rest. Not only because of its staggering size, but also due to the way it embodies our oldest, most primal fears, the colossal and legendary Megalodon. This monstrous prehistoric creature, popularly known as the Meg, or simply the Megalodon, is not just a relic from a forgotten era. It's a symbol of pure terror that can rise from the unknown. Its terrifying presence, immortalized in the blockbusters The Meg and Meg 2, the Trench has created a definitive turning point in how sea monsters are portrayed in modern cinema. For a long time, mainstream science firmly defended the definitive extinction of the Megalodon. According to fossil records, this creature is believed to have disappeared over 3 million years ago, leaving behind only scattered teeth and unanswered questions. But in the narrative proposed by the cinematic universe, we are introduced to a hypothesis as fascinating as it is terrifying, that these titanic predators not only survived but did so beyond the reach of human knowledge, hidden in the most remote and lethal depths of the planet. Their lair, the Mariana Trench, a bottomless abyss sealed off by a layer of superheated, toxic, and dense water that blocks all contact with the outside world. This blend of mystery, extreme isolation, and biological danger transforms the Megalodons into near-mythological figures. And it is precisely this combination that has allowed these Jurassic predators to become some of the most memorable, fascinating, and chilling sea monsters ever depicted on screen. In this video, we'll embark on a deep and thorough journey through the history of these titans, as portrayed in the Meg Saga, from their earliest origins, based on real paleontological discoveries, to their fantastical and terrifying adaptations for the big screen. We'll explore their fictional evolution, massive anatomy, predatory behavior, the threats they represent, and the key events that led to their reappearance in the modern world within this alternate universe. According to the mythology built by these films, Megalodons share their lineage with real-life creatures that once dominated the Miocene and Pliocene oceans. They are believed to have emerged between 23 and 3.6 million years ago, reigning supreme in the wild waters of a primal Earth, feeding on whales, large fish, and anything that crossed their path. However, fiction takes this further, stretching the limits of plausibility to show us an even more spectacular scenario, one in which Megalodons coexisted with the dinosaurs, even hunting land titans like the Tyrannosaurus Rex and battling massive aquatic reptiles. This twist, though lacking scientific backing, enhances the narrative power and elevates them to the status of the ultimate apex predators of all time. In terms of size, the stats are as extreme as they are astounding. The Megalodons portrayed in the Meg reach lengths of 20 to 25 meters, 65 to 82 feet, with weights exceeding 60 metric tons. Females, in addition to being more aggressive, are twice the size of males, becoming the undisputed queens of the abyss. This difference is crucial to the progression of events in the film. While in real life, the idea of a Megalodon still roaming the modern ocean is highly improbable, in fiction, this threat becomes terrifyingly real. The story suggests that due to the collapse of the surface marine ecosystem, caused by climate change, overfishing, and a decline in prey, Megalodons were forced to migrate to increasingly deeper zones until they found refuge in the abyssal depths of the Earth. There, in the Mariana Trench, they survived hidden beneath a deadly thermocline, a layer composed of extreme temperatures and hydrogen sulfide, acting as a natural prison. Only the strongest and most highly adapted could dare to cross it and live to tell the tale. But in that same environment, they shared territory with other impossible creatures, colossal squids, bioluminescent fish, and beings that seem ripped straight from the pages of an underwater horror tale. In this hidden world, the Megalodons thrived, completely unaware of humanity, until something changed. The story unfolds when an American submarine on an expedition near the Philippines is brutally attacked by a gigantic creature. Barely managing to send a distress signal, the crew calls for help. This is when Jonas Taylor re-enters the picture, an elite diver, former rescue specialist, and ex-military man haunted by a tragedy that destroyed his career. Years earlier, he had abandoned part of his crew during a rescue, claiming a sea monster had attacked them. No one believed him. His credibility evaporated. His life fell apart. But now, with this new threat, the scientific team, led by Dr. Zhang and funded by billionaire Jack Morris, decides to contact Jonas. At their cutting-edge underwater base, Mana 1, located over 300 kilometers off the coast of China, a daring mission is launched to penetrate the thermocline and confirm the existence of a new ecosystem. Joining the team is Suyin, Dr. Zhang's brave daughter, along with Lori, Jonas's ex-wife, and a group of experts in marine biology, technology, and deep-sea exploration. The team manages to breach the barrier, and what they discover is an alien paradise, a lost world beneath the sea. But wonder quickly turns to panic when they are attacked by a colossal squid. At the climax of the chaos, an even more terrifying creature appears, the Megalodon. In an instant, the mission becomes a desperate fight for survival. Jonas's intervention proves crucial. They escape, but not without consequences. The operation creates a rupture in the thermocline, allowing not one, but two Megalodons to escape into open waters. One is a smaller male, but the other is an alpha female, a true killing machine. Believing they are dealing with just one predator, the team devises a plan to track and eliminate it using a poisoned capsule. But the twist comes after the confrontation. They didn't kill the female. They took down the male, and the real threat is still out there. The ending is brutal. The alpha female emerges in a fury, destroys the main vessel, devours one of the scientists, and leaves Dr. Zhang critically wounded. Even Dr. Heller, who had once publicly discredited Jonas, dies a heroic death saving the young Jacks. In an act of redemption that shows when the real monster surfaces, there's no room for arrogance or doubt. The entire carefully planned and deployed operation to eliminate the Megalodon collapses spectacularly, with no hope of redemption. What was initially conceived as the final strategy, the last hope to contain that monstrous prehistoric creature threatening human life, ends up being a resounding and humiliating failure. The hopes of the scientific and military communities vanish within hours, exposing not only the magnitude of the threat, but also the fragility of human plans in the face of nature's raw power. In the midst of this grim scenario, Jack Morris, the billionaire entrepreneur behind the funding and creation of the scientific base, appears before cameras and microphones with an air of false solemnity and control. With a grave and measured tone, he announces the immediate closure of all research facilities related to the Megalodon. His carefully rehearsed words are meant to project confidence and resolution, but in reality, they conceal deep desperation and a desperate attempt to hide the truth. Morris assures the press and public that he has initiated direct talks with high-ranking officials from the governments of China and Australia, promising an unprecedented alliance to execute a total eradication plan for the creature. He vows to spare no resources or means, claiming that international collaboration will guarantee the definitive end of the Megalodon. However, behind this facade of diplomacy and commitment lies Morris's true intent: to wash his hands clean and evade any public responsibility for the failure. Instead of cooperating with authorities and opening the door to a joint effort, Morris secretly hires an elite squad of mercenaries, ruthless and highly trained specialists. to carry out the hunt on his own terms. This covert operation takes place under the cover of darkness, far from the eyes of the world and free from any external oversight, in an atmosphere charged with tension and secrecy. But the secret plan not only fails, it turns into a death sentence for Morris himself. The private mission collapses almost instantly under the sheer power and cunning of the Megalodon. And the price the arrogant businessman pays is the highest and most ironic imaginable. He is brutally devoured by the ancient, colossal jaws of the shark, vanishing into the depths in a scene that marks not only his tragic end, but also the beginning of even greater and more unpredictable chaos. The next morning, the creature reemerges in all its terrifying glory on a popular tourist beach in China, a coastal paradise filled with families, tourists, and unsuspecting swimmers. What should have been a normal day under the warm sun rapidly turns into a living nightmare. But the Megalodon does not attack in a random or chaotic fashion. Its behavior baffles everyone. It ignores some people while tearing through others mercilessly, moving with an almost intelligent and enigmatic purpose, as if driven by something deeper and unknown. And yet, its mere presence is enough to spark absolute panic, unleashing a massive stampede, total chaos, and a massacre that will be forever seared into the memories of those who witnessed the horror. Faced with this catastrophe, Jonas Taylor and the rest of the team, composed of survivors, passionate scientists, and old allies, arrive urgently at the beach. They know that every second lost could mean more lives sacrificed. Turning to advanced acoustic technology, they strategically place underwater speakers and begin broadcasting loud recordings of whale and cetacean sounds, hoping to confuse and disorient the enormous shark. For a moment, the creature seems deceived, giving them a brief window of opportunity. Without hesitation, Jonas and Suin launch a counteroffensive. Aboard highly equipped attack submarines, they aim to use torpedoes to destroy the threat once and for all. However, reality exceeds their expectations. The female Meg withstands the impacts with superhuman resilience, as if bullets and explosions were mere irritants that barely affect her. In a desperate and courageous act, Jonas makes the extreme decision to ram the beast's belly at full force and speed with the submarine, inflicting a deep and bleeding wound. The battle escalates to a level of tension and brutality rarely seen. At a climactic moment, Jonas manages to get close enough to stab the Megalodon's eye with a specialized weapon, causing devastating damage and momentarily disorienting her. But just when it seems the battle is won, the blood pouring from the creature's wounded body acts as an irresistible call for other predators of the sea. Common, hungry sharks, drawn by the scent of the blood, emerge in a frenzy and swarm the Megalodon, tearing her apart with savage, frenzied violence. This wild, almost primal scene allows Jonas to escape with his life, by mere seconds. When the threat finally appears to be neutralized, an unexpected and groundbreaking revelation emerges. Amid the chaos, Jonas and his loyal friend Mac manage to capture a live pup from the slain Megalodon. It is discovered that the creature was pregnant, a fact that is not only shocking in its rarity, but represents a scientific revolution and opens a new chapter in the history of marine biology. A species thought to be extinct is breathing again and defying everything previously known. Thus begins the story that unfolds in the sequel, Meg 2, The Trench, recently released. The narrative takes us 5 years into the future, where the pup, now named Haiqi, has grown impressively. Although it has not yet reached full adult size, its colossal dimensions already inspire both respect and fear. But Haiqi is not just a giant animal. It becomes the central axis of a much more complex and profound storyline. In this new chapter, Jiuming, the son of the late Dr. Zhang, enters the scene. He has inherited leadership of the MENA 1 station after the tragic loss of his father and sister. Taming is determined to carry on the family legacy, to study the abyssal depths of the ocean and coexist with its mysteries and secrets. And he goes even further. He claims to have successfully tamed, at least partially, Haiqi. To maintain control, he uses an advanced system of electrical pulses designed to keep the enormous shark in check and prevent any aggressive or unpredictable behavior. But Jonas, guided by his experience and trauma-sharpened instincts, remains unconvinced. He knows that such a primordial and wild force cannot truly be controlled, that no matter how much one tries, a Megalodon will never be fully tame or predictable, and his suspicions are soon confirmed. During a public exhibition event, Haiqi escapes from its massive containment tank, triggering alarm and chaos. The following day, Taming, Jonas, and a select group of scientists embark on an expedition to the Mariana Trench. The official intent is to investigate the incident, but they soon realize Haiqi is following them, displaying increasingly erratic and hostile behavior. Once they cross the thermocline, the group accesses a hidden, mysterious ecosystem, where tension rises as they discover Haiqi has entered its reproductive stage. She is not just seeking territory, she's seeking to mate. And she is not alone. Dwelling in the depths are two other adult Megalodons, a colossal male, covered in scars that seem to be relics from ancient battles and possibly other eras, and an adult female who, like Haiqi, appears drawn to the legendary male. But the surprises don't end there. As they document these interactions, the team uncovers an illegal underwater base operating in secret, a clandestine facility dedicated to mining rare resources from the ocean floor. The structure collapses suddenly and causes an explosion so powerful that it ruptures the thermocline irreversibly, opening a massive breach that won't close. Through this breach, Haiqi, the two other adult Megalodons, and something else escape, a colossal squid, far more imposing than the one previously seen, emerges, accompanied by a host of amphibious creatures resembling small dinosaurs adapted to marine life. Monsters forgotten by time cross into the modern world, and a new threat looms over humanity. This marks the beginning of a race against time. Jonas, Taming, and Mac must devise a desperate plan to stop these creatures from reaching a tourist island crowded with civilians. What was once a singular threat has now become a multidimensional invasion. The danger is unpredictable, uncontrollable, and deadlier than ever before. And so we arrive at the climax of this saga, one that not only revives one of the most feared creatures of the past, but also expands its universe with new threats, secrets, and mysteries from the unfathomable depths of the sea.